Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight I've got a special video for you guys. This one is going to be a lesson in not winning harder. We've already talked about this multiple times, but for some reason some people just don't understand it. So we're going to go over it again. But I also want to say I apologize for the late video today. I wasn't able to get this video out last night, but there's a reason. I wanted to make sure that I could test my system as soon as possible. I got my new CPU today, and I have put it in, and it officially is running on my Intel Core i9-9900K. So we went from an Intel Core i7-9700K to an Intel Core i9-9900K. They run on the same socket, so we didn't have to change motherboards or anything like that. We just had to reflash the motherboard's BIOS, and once we get done with that, we were able to boot back into Windows just fine. And we are now running the Intel Core i9. Now, what is the main difference between the Intel Core i7 9700K and the 9900K Intel Core i9? Well, the biggest difference is that the turbo speed is slightly higher on the newer one, but that's usually only on 2 cores, so it's basically the same speed. However, the new one has hyper-threading, which essentially doubles the output of your CPU. It basically gives you double the cores. So previously on the Intel Core i7-9700K, we had 8 cores at 4.6 gigahertz. And now we have 8 cores that run up to 5 gigahertz, even though it's usually like 4.7, 4.8 gigahertz. And we have hyper-threading, which basically gives us 8 more logical cores. They're not true cores, but it does help with your overall output on your CPU. So, in theory, it should make editing and stuff a little bit quicker. It should hopefully help with the streaming from the PC, because our biggest bottleneck has always been our CPU. But now that we've got that fixed, hopefully we will be a little bit better quality with our computer streaming. We'll see. Only time will tell for sure. But that's the goal. The next step would be to go with dual graphics cards, and I don't know about you guys, but I can't afford that. Not anytime soon, anyway. So yeah, the CPU upgrade already cost me about $500, so it's a big expense. But at the end of the day, I feel like it's going to be worth it. So with that all out of the way. We rush into the middle of the map. We're going to grab Bravo, and then we're going to head over to try to grab Alpha. Again, grabbing bases is your primary, thought. Now, obviously, the Kagero comes out. He's burning, but we want to help get him off the board, and he actually gets finished off right before we get a chance to shoot him. The Kaba, however, is way too close for my comfort. Now, the beauty is, we can sit here and help shoot him because we're in a smoke screen and we're not the one spotting him. This is huge. And he gets absolutely smashed by our Mino. Thank goodness that we have the Mino behind us. Huge. Huge. Getting rid of both of their destroyers this early in the match is a huge advantage to our team. And you can see I'm going from Bravo over to Alpha right now to try to grab this base. Now, don't let this fool you guys. This team has started off with a banger of a match, okay? This team has started doing everything right. We've already killed both their destroyers. They have a whole mess of cruisers, which is the worst possible scenario for a destroyer player. Like, this is, make no mistake, the worst possible scenario that you could find yourself in a freaking destroyer. You are hard countered by literally everything on the enemy team. We had a Kaba against us, and we had every one of the enemy ships that pretty much is a destroyer, or is a cruiser, which hard counters destroyers. Everybody knows that this tends to be rock, paper, scissors. Now, I move up into Alpha, and we get radared right off the bat. Now, I'm not spotting anything, so I'm pretty happy sitting here. They can radar me all they want. They can't really shoot me. And you can see I'm looking for shells to come over the island. And we have an Azuma here that's right on the edge of the thing. Now, we lose our radar, which is beautiful. And we're going to go ahead and put ourselves in a position that if these guys rush, they have no shot. And that's when the Stalingrad makes his move and thinks he's going to be coming around the corner. And we're like, I think I know who radared us. That makes more sense, because if you remember, we looked at the Cleveland. Cleveland was too far away. Now, we're sitting here in the base, and we're actually in a very dangerous position. Now, we're about to get the base captain. You can see I am contemplating rushing right out in front of the Stalingrad and just torping the ever-living piss out of it. Apologize for the language, but there's no other real way to say it. Now, this is a very dangerous move. I am close enough to be detected. There is a whole lot of hatred right there. There's the Stalingrad, there's the Azuma, there's the freaking Cleveland. There's a lot of hatred here for a destroyer, especially a Shima like myself. Now, I come around the corner. I don't want to go broadside to these guys because I really can't feel like getting absolutely punished. So, we're just dropping torpedoes out there. We want to get these guys' attention, maybe help our team not get absolutely destroyed. And so we want to throw as many torpedoes out there as possible, and we have officially disappeared for them. They cannot see us any longer. Now, Azuma appeared to be getting ready to take a torp, but I believe he gets away with it for now. You can see he finds a little gap and slips right between the torps. So this was all for nothing. But is it really? Because we managed to push these guys backwards. They had to shoot at us, which kept them from shooting at my teammates, which gave my teammates the chance to absolutely punish them. Except my team didn't absolutely punish them. My team started shooting everybody that they could. Rather than take out the people that are low health, my team decided to start focusing another ship. One thing that you have to realize at these higher tiers, tier 7 and legendary tiers, that anytime you leave somebody alive, whether it be a cruiser or a battleship, they have heals. So you cannot leave people alive. They will heal, they will stay in the fight, and they will continue to punish you. Okay? And that's exactly what's about to happen here, is we lose our cruiser that was on the borderline, and now all of these cruisers are going to be able to focus the remaining 2 cruisers on my team, and you're going to see they're just going to move up and they're going to bully them. And it's at this moment that there's not a whole lot I can do here. I'm about to get my torpedoes back, so you can see I am lining up torpedo strikes, trying to help my team as best I can. I don't want to leave them to die, obviously. And you can see, I'm assuming that these guys are going to, like, stop and reverse again. And you can see that that's exactly what they're doing. And so I'm feeling pretty confident. We get the torpedoes out there for everybody. We do have one more set of torpedoes about to come back. And we're going to use these, I believe, to try to catch this Cleveland off guard. But that's when we get radared randomly. Whether it's the Stalingrad or the Cleveland, it doesn't matter. I am radared, and there's a lot of people looking at me. So it's time to get busy with doing the "you can't hit me" shuffle. Now, I always tell people that the #1 mistake that destroyer players make when they get radared is that they panic. Now, you can see the amount of shots coming in at me. I've got a Mino shooting at me. I had a Stalingrad shooting at me. I got a Cleveland shooting at me. I got an Azuma shooting at me. I got a Groza Kerfer shooting at me. And yet, they only managed to take about 300 to 3,500 damage off of me, right? So, that's what I'm talking about when I tell people, do not panic. Okay, it's maybe like 4,000 damage. But it doesn't matter. The amount of things that had a chance to shoot us was ridiculous. And we have lost all support. Our entire team has died. We can no longer afford to take any stupid risks. Okay? This game is still winnable. And I'm not going to lie. I was like, this is going to be a solo warrior for sure. Because there's no way that this cruiser, who is now in the center of the map, is going to survive much longer against everybody on the enemy team. Because God knows, I don't intend to get spotted again. Now, we have a 3 cap to 1 advantage, which means we have a heck of a points advantage if we can maintain those 3 caps. So from here on out, my goal is to protect the bases. And at worst, move through the bases to grab the enemy base that's on the far side of the map. Clearly, I can't stay here today. There's too many radars, there's too much DPM, there's too many angry bad guys that want me dead. And so we line up a torp strike on these guys. We've got the Mino here, we've got the Stalingrad, and we are trying to get rid of these guys. Now, up to this point, we've done a whopping 2,500 damage. And you can see these guys are about to have a real bad day. We catch the first guy with a couple of torpedoes, but he survives. And then we hit the Stalingrad behind him with a torpedo to finish him off. So just like that, our solo warrior goes away. The reason I say that is you have to have at least 4 enemies left as the only person left on your team to get a solo warrior. And given the fact that we just wiped out one, there's an unlikely chance that we get a solo warrior. Actually, it's guaranteed that we can't get a solo warrior now because there are only 3 people left on the enemy team. However, this mines that's in the center of the map is going to help do as much as he can. He's going to try to reset the Mino, but at the end of the day, there's still a Gross Kerfers, there's still a Cleveland, and that Mino to take on a Mines. And like I said, I do not intend to show myself anymore in this match. The only time that I will get spotted is if somebody catches me off guard or radars me. I'm not keeping myself close enough to be radared. We've already seen that the Mino is a smoke Mino, so we do not have to worry about him radaring us. It is solely the long-range sonar on the Kerfers that we have to worry about, which is 6 kilometers, and the radar from the Cleveland, which is 9 kilometers. You can see Mino is getting into a fight with the mines, and because we already hit him with a torpedo, he's actually burning a little bit here because of the permafire that was set on him, I'm assuming. But he gets that extinguished. Our mines is no longer going to be able to put up a fight, and that leaves us 1 versus 3. Now look at what's going on the map. What is the best course of action here? Do I attack, or do I make the smart play and get the heck away from all these people? I make the smart play and get the heck away from all these people. If I attack a Mino in a destroyer, 9 times out of 10, I will die. It's actually closer to 9.9 times out of 10, I will die. If that guy in the Mino has any brain cells between him, he will murder me in very short order. Okay? So taking that fight 1v1, not a good play. I don't care what it is. Just not a good play. So what we're going to do instead is recognize that we have a 200-point advantage, so we don't need to go too crazy, and then we are going to push across towards the enemy cap that's over here at Charlie and Delta. So if we can grab Charlie and then try to hold off them from capping Bravo for as long as possible, we win. We've got less than 3 minutes left. So all we have to do is maintain a 200-point advantage. It's really that simple. And so many people screw this up. How many times have you seen a teammate throw? How many times have you thrown when you know that you have an easy win? I've been there, done that. I've thrown plenty of matches. I've shown you guys matches that I've thrown and talked about why it's such a dumb idea to try to win harder. Now you can see we are dropping torps on this man, but he's got his sonar running. He's getting himself out of there. Mino very maneuverable, but still almost took that torp. And he knows. He takes a torp at this point. It is GG. He has no chance. But we kept him away from the cap for a little bit longer. And right now they only have a 2 cap to 2 cap advantage, which means they're not gaining any points. Our advantage in points stays. So we turned him away from us, which keeps him away from us for a little longer, and we are heading towards the enemy cap. Now, why are we doing this? We're going to ensure that the Mino cannot capture the Bravo cap and win the match. Now, obviously, there's only 1 minute and 45 seconds left, so he can't capture the minute. Well, he could capture the middle cap, especially if he gets a teammate to help him, and that's when we get another torp hit. Now, who could we have possibly hit with that torpedo? It was either the Mino turned back into him, which I don't believe happened, or somebody got caught with a random torpedo that they were not expecting. Either way, we're feeling pretty good. We only have 70,000 damage. We're in the enemy cap, so even if they did cap that, which they're not going to unless they have more than one person in the cap, we don't have anything to worry about. Now here's where Twist and Track comes in real handy. You see how we have the perceptive skill and we're getting that little RPF, the radio position finder location, telling us the nearest enemy ship is right over here pointing at us? Well, guess what we're going to do? We're going to torp the gap. Why sit here and let these guys charge us? You can see Mino not playing around. And that tells us somebody walked into our torpedoes and it was not the Mino. So we're going to go ahead and fill the gap with as many torpedoes as we can. But we're also not going to take any chances. There's no reason for me to sit in this cap and try to get this cap at this point. I'm going to, obviously, but it's not the best play that I could make. And you can see the torpedoes going after him. We catch him with the torpedo, and down he goes, and along with it, any chance that the enemy had to potentially win this match. And you can see they even left the cap. And you can see that somebody's coming through the gap on my right. So, again, do not try to win harder. Do what you have to maintain the points lead. Pay attention to points. So many people just do not pay attention to points. But 90,000 damage is a pretty solid result. 3,000 base XP. Solely because we didn't win harder. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Again, sorry for the late video output, but if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.